Welcome back to the BZ Podcast. I'm Zay. That is
Brit.
an emaciated Brit.
Emaciated? It's not even the word. Emaciated is when you're like starving and hungry. I wish I did look emaciated. That would help.
No, it's not just starving and hungry.
I swear that's what that means. Emaciated.
Now we gotta look it up. Pardon us, folks.
Super skinny. You're not
we probably
malnourished.
You probably say thank you.
Yep. Oh well, thanks.
No, it's abnormally thin, so you're right. Weak, especially because of illness or lack of food. So you're right. You got it all. I'll give it. We're both right. We're both right.
I said don't tell them I'm sick, nigga. Damn.
I'm sick too. Everybody
you
fucking
are not
knows.
sick like me.
I am.
I'm nasty.
I coughed up something god awful this morning.
Ew. See, this is what I did not need to give our listeners the visual of. That's just nasty.
They're human. That happens to them too. I'm sure. It's that season. And you work with them kids, Them kids.
I'm like, yeah, season my ass. Nah, that little nigga.
Oh, man. Welcome back to the BZ Podcast. I know I probably said that before. I'm saying it again because we really appreciate you guys coming back. I'm Zay. That's Britt. And how are you guys doing? I wish you guys could respond to us in real time.
We're working on that. We got to do it live.
Yeah, we're working on that. We're definitely working on that. Shout out to the people that listened to the last episode.
Yes, thank you.
We got a lot of love on that last episode, and if you didn't listen to it, it's called Relationship Do's and Don'ts, something everybody can relate to, and we had a good time doing it. Had a lot of fun.
Yes, definitely.
Today's episode of the podcast, we are going to be shooting the shit, and we're starting off with PETA. I'm going to need PETA to come down to the front of the congregation. We need to have a word with you. I don't know if you guys have learned or heard in the last week, PETA wants us to stop using anti-animal phrases.
I thought it was a joke when I heard it. Now, this is the week of, let's see, December 5th, like when this happened. So, in case you're listening to this later on, this is the week of like December. Well, it's not the 5th, it's the 1st, but that's my best friend's birthday. So I was like, I remember that. But shout outs to Nuda. Happy birthday. Anyway. So the week of December 2nd, I guess you would say last Sunday. I don't know what day this came out, but I did hear it early on in the week. They're like, PETA's upset again. I'm like, oh. Oh, God. Yeah.
So I see it, and I thought it was a joke. I thought this was like the clap back for just a lot of sensitivity going on right now, but PETA is dead serious. PETA does not want you to use anti-animal phrases like, they put out a chart. This was the funniest shit.
Oh, like it's on their website and stuff?
I didn't even go to the website.
I was like, I need to look.
It was from wasn't their website, it was from another website I saw. It said, instead of using kill two birds with one stone, it's feed two birds with one scone. A scone. Instead of be the guinea pig, be the test tube. Don't beat a dead horse, feed a fed horse. Bring home the bacon, bring home the bagels.
Womp womp.
Yeah, right?
I mean, the other ones I'm like, okay, I kind of get
it. And then instead of take a bull by the horns, take a flower by the thorns.
Okay.
Don't say okay. I'm done with PETA.
I get them. Like, those are good substitutions. But I'm like, who even uses these old-timey ass, like, animal references or whatever? You know, like, I'm pretty sure Shay has never heard any of these. I'm going to ask him. I should try this out and see if he even knows about these sayings. Like, I feel like these are, like, old sayings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when's the last time you used any of those?
I don't know.
I may have used kill two birds with one stone. Maybe
I feel like you might use. I feel like if you're gonna use if I was gonna use one, it's gonna be kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
And I'd only use it at work in front of older white people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's lame, and I think they're being ridiculous. But then there's more. A follow-up tweet was conflating anti-animal language to racist, homophobic racist, homophobic language. Right? Excuse me. So pretty much anti-animal stuff is on the same lines of racist, homophobic language. And they can get all the way the fuck. That when I read that part of it, I instantly wanted to punch a cat. Out of spite. Like I instantly wanted to like I think I'm gonna eat nothing but meat. So I'm going on a carnivore diet for like 3 months. Just in response.
I have been thinking about doing that again though.
Right.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I get it, but
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think.
You know, they're the voices of the animals.
Yeah, like I probably have said like, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and I'm pretty sure my cat did not care.
You used that one.
I've used that one, but my cat doesn't care. I've probably said it in front of him, but he does not care.
He might be sitting there like.
Sitting with a little tear in his eye. He's so insensitive.
So insensitive.
He's so insensitive. God, yeah. So I'm done with. I didn't really care for PETA anymore. I don't know. Am I done with PETA?
When have we ever been?
I know, like, probably shouldn't even care.
Yeah, like whatever. Moving on.
All right, moving on. More on sensitivity. This Kevin Hart situation with the Oscars. You want to spearhead this one?
Okay. Or when I first heard it, well, of course, I just saw it on social media, you know, with him announcing that he's doing it. Everybody's like, yay! And all of a sudden, he's like, he had that same fucking, like, camera angle when he was talking about, like, cheating on his wife and shit. I was like, oh, shit. Like, what are you about to say?
Oh, no, hold on. Yeah. That's the Kev camera? Camera?
I was
that's
like,
the Kev
oh,
camera.
Hell. So,
oh, God.
You know, he's basically saying that some. I love how he was like, some. It's like, it's kind of, it's a good amount. Like, I looked it up about how many homophobic or anti-gay tweets he put up in the past. And he's like, you know, they want him to apologize for some tweets he made. He said he did before. And he said he's not doing it again. So at first I was kind of like, oh, like, you know, just apologize, fuck it, whatever. But then it's like, I mean, like, if you don't give a shit about the Oscars, then don't apologize again. Like, whatever, you know? I mean, there is freedom of speech, but you gotta deal with the consequences. And if he's fine, you know, not hosting the Oscars, then so be it, you know? Who gives a shit? But then, like I said, like I was telling you earlier, I don't know if you guys saw too, but like, Nick Cannon brought out some old tweets from like Amy Schumer, Sarah Silverman, and Chelsea Handler, where they were all using, you know, derogatory words towards the gay community, the FAG word. And he was saying, you know, like, are they going to get the same backlash, whatever? And I mean, we'll see. I did see like that now, like Fox News is reporting what Nick Cannon found, stuff like that. So we'll see, like in the coming days, if like just I guess the general public's thoughts on these white women using the same language. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be interesting to see. But
I don't feel like anything's gonna happen. It's.
I know. I mean, nothing. I don't know what can happen, but I'm interested to see if they try to stick up for them, or if they, you know, go a different route. So I don't know. I'm just gonna keep an eye out.
So I got two things. So the first thing is comedians, yo. I feel like comedians, like in order to be a comedian, you kind of have to be able to go to those dark places and find the funny out of certain stuff. And I fear that like him stepping down, which I don't blame him. I kind of applaud him for stepping down and saying that he wasn't going to apologize again. Now, I did read about his first apology, but I also read it from the same article, as somebody. You could tell the tone of the article was Kevin Hart's dead wrong for this, and the apology was kind of like a sorry, not sorry. I think it was like a kind of a lazy apology. Like he was saying, like, I wouldn't do that bit now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do that bit now because of the time we're in. This, that, and the third. It's not really an apology, but it is an acknowledgement of the time we're in and how things have changed. So I don't know. You can take that as a grain of salt.
I will say too that even though his apology might have sounded half-assed, by his actions, he did show that he didn't do it anymore. Because all the tweets were before 2010, and then they said in the one article, the last one I read, they were like, you won't see anything else after like 2011. And it's like there's been nothing else since. So he has shown that he learned from it. But
that was the second thing I was going to say, is just like, if they stopped after 2010, 2011, how long are we going to be able to just like bring this up? Every time he gets an opportunity to get the bag, you're just going to bring up these old tweets. It's just like, how long, what do people have to do to escape their past?
I mean, that's kind of the price you pay to being famous, I guess. They gotta do a shit like that. Being in the public eye, there's just so many people that will pick at you and find things. I mean, at this point, I guess even, because I'm like, why don't you delete shit? But, once it's on the internet, it's forever. People can bring up whatever.
I want to know, like, who really took the time to, like, to dig up these old tweets.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, but I also believe now with all these analytics and people that code things so that you can search quicker. I think literally all you have to do is type in a few keywords like, homo, gay, whatever, put Kevin Hart tweets, and they probably just pull it all up, because the way it looked from what I saw, people were just scrolling and shit looked like from a search result. And it was just all compiled right there. So they make it very easy now for you to like, because I mean, they could do that with my name, Put Brittany Knox in the word fuck. And how many times I publicly written the word fuck?
Brittany has publicly wrote the word fuck more than you guys can ever imagine. But yeah, I'm kind of scared because, I mean, I'll admit, my type of humor, is like, I laugh at inappropriate stuff. I do laugh at some stuff that's offensive.
I think we all do.
We don't. Apparently, we don't.
No, that's bullshit.
Because if you could,
nobody's gonna say they do, but I'm like, in all honesty, in some form of way, I'm sure we've all laughed at. Even like a fucking animal getting kicked down the stairs or something. Like, I wouldn't laugh at that, but there's other people that would, and even certain people you think wouldn't laugh at something like that. Or it can be something serious, like laughing at a nigger joke or something, or whatever. Somebody laughing at an Asian joke, like
I don't know. I just feel
I'm just saying, I'm sure everybody has laughed at something inappropriate.
I think we're gonna have to come to a decision where we have to figure out how important context is to language.
Well, I think that's what's happening now.
Do you think the pendulum's swinging? Like, do you think it's going too heavy one way? Because I feel like context, like out of all the articles that we read about this, none of them were really mentioning, like, even the one you just sent to me, they were saying the tweets or whatever, but they weren't really acknowledging that, like, all right, a lot of these tweets are some of the bits he's done on a special. And in that context, is that a safety blanket because he's doing it as a comedian and his job is to take some of the obscure things in society and make light of it or laugh at it?
I mean, I think there's a way to do it if you do want to go that route. You don't need to use the derogatory language in it by, calling people certain words or whatever. I think if you want to go that route, there's a way to do it without, using the language.
The way to do it, I don't think there's just one way to do it. And I think the way to do it is going to be dependent upon who's listening to it.
Yeah, that could be
you have your
too, or just don't say the shit. I'm sorry, like, at the end of the day, like, just don't fucking say it.
And he
trying to tiptoe around. Well, that's what I'm like, now he's learned. But, I mean, like you said, too, it was a different time back then. And I mean, we can say that about a lot of different language. Like, we're not called Negroes anymore, but that's on my mama's birth certificate, so.
That's on your mom's birth certificate. That's crazy.
Negro, yeah. She was born in the 60s.
They still said Negroes in the 60s?
She was born in 66.
That's the wild thing. Like, people want to act like certain shit is so old, racism is so old. Like, bro, I can bring you up a document. They said like a lot of the deeds in like the houses in Baltimore and stuff like that. Say you're not one of the main tenets of them is you're not allowed to sell this property to a Negro. Wow. And they still say that. Nobody honors it. Well, quote unquote, nobody's honoring it, but there's somebody honoring it. Obviously. I'm sure. But, I know my mom said there used to be like a carnival that would come to town or something, and black people were only allowed to go on Sundays. So if that were the case, that had to have been like in the 70s. For my mom to remember that. Yeah. She was born in 66. If she was born in 66. Yeah, or she was like, they could only go on Sundays. Shit, I wish I could go to Great Adventure. It was only Black Day. You know? Yo, I was thinking about this. My mom grew up in Missouri, so I don't know if that was like a Midwest. That's a big, yeah. Just not changing gears. That might have been Iowa. I don't know. Anyway, keep going. Not changing gears, but like I say that about wanting to go to like a theme park when it's all Black Day, but but what? No. Oh. No, that's ain't a joke. But just going to like I went to the DR and being around people that like your same skin complexion kind of look like you. They might not talk the same language, but like most black people in America don't know what that's like. To like walk amongst your just peers at all times. Oh, I'm like, well, in the hood, yeah, 24/7. Yeah, 24/7. You know what I mean? Yeah. Probably feels like some love, you know. That's what I mean. I think I can enjoy Viper, or you know what I mean. I might enjoy Viper a little more amongst my kinfolk. What else happened this week? Bow Wow. Everybody trying to talk about him. I just want to talk about him just to say he's a clown, you know. He don't even care that he's a clown though. That's the annoying part. So it's like you know, it's like you can talk about he don't even care. It's like whatever. All right, we're not gonna talk about Bow Wow. We're not gonna talk about Bow Wow. All right, so I got something. Do you remember those videos? Those videos with the kid and he's in a room, he's surrounded by his peers, all black kids, and he's reading from a laptop and they get the news that he's accepted in the school and the video goes crazy, everybody's going nuts and it was just I just remember seeing a few of them and when I saw them, man, I want to say they were within the year. I don't know. I want to say they were within the year. But I saw them and, you know, it gave me this heartwarming feeling like, oh, that's amazing. He has this big old support system, this, that, and the third. And then I come across this video and it's like a Vice documentary. It might not be Vice, so let me not put it out there. I'll try to find a link and I'll put it underneath this episode. So if you guys want to check it out, you check it out. But Landry Prep, it's a Louisiana prep school. And, of course, there's scandal behind it, right? Of course there's scandal behind it, right? So, I mean, this school garnered national attention. I saw clips on there from, like, Ellen. I said Helen. Right? What show is that? This school apparently had 100% college acceptance rate. People were going to Brown, Harvard, all these prestigious schools. But now, as they did an investigation on these schools, it's alleged that student officials falsified information on college applications. Oh, wow. And they were intimidating to the students, right? So they would fill out transcripts incorrectly to reflect classes the students never took, gave them grades they never earned. Okay. And, of course, all these accusations have been denied. Mm-hmm. Even though, I'm going to put their names out. The owners of the school is Tracy and Michael Landry. Mm-hmm. Michael Landry, looks like a mean guy. They were showing videos of him and he was going off.
Looks like a mean guy.
He looks like a mean guy. So these people are it's like a blue collar place, and everybody wants their kids to go to this school because of the success rate.
How does it look like a blue collar place then?
No, I'm saying it's in the area is blue collar that it's in.
I was like, what? I was
sorry.
like, what, they fixing cars?
They fixing cars. Shut up.
Little mechanics. Little
I
construction
wish
workers.
they were. Maybe listen, I'm gonna keep talking, but maybe hopefully they were, yo. They're gonna have to learn how to fix cars because they ain't learning shit at this school.
Damn.
So it costs like $725 a month, right? But the abuse was allegedly physically and emotionally. So students claimed they were pitted against one another, interrogated, and humiliated. There's a story about one kid that was acting up in class. It was a younger kid. Michael Landry, the husband and the part owner of the school, picked him up by the throat and slammed him on the table. They said if a student failed a test, they could be forced to kneel on rice, hot pavement, and rocks for hours.
Like, ain't nobody tell their parents?
That's what I'm saying. And you have a kid. There's some things I can't really talk about, but you do homework with your kid all day. Every day. Every day. Your kid is not, like, I just feel like you should have some more awareness of what's going on with school. Where's the student-teacher conferences?
They're just, out of all those kids, you know, like, somebody got to be telling their parents stuff. The fuck?
That's how I feel.
I'm ready to hell.
But, the kids were routinely intimidated to lie on their applications about their background. So, like, coming from desperate poverty or crime and drug addicted background and stuff like that, just super inflating their story. They actually rehearsed scripted responses to say to the media for days in advance. The school promoted a family first message with unconventional teaching styles. So, like, if you go to this school, they were showing like some footage. It looked like a warehouse, bro. It didn't have like desk or your traditional school stuff. And then,
who the fuck is paying $700 a month to send their kid here? What's this school called?
This is called Landry Prep in Louisiana. She looking it up. You looking it up.
Sound the fuck stupid, like.
Right? But they showed this one. They were showing like news coverage, and they were getting praised for their 100% college acceptance rate and their unconventional style of teaching. Turns out these kids wasn't really learning shit. The high school students' main focus were the ACTs, so all they did was study for the ACTs. But the younger students were taught like a very loose and insufficient curriculum that left them many grades behind, right? So you're paying $725 a month for your younger student to go to school, and when this hits the fan and you got to take them out of that school, their grades behind.
Right.
Mad time wasted, money wasted, you know, and now your child has to catch up. So like we were saying, my real thing is like, where were the parents for all this to happen? I just refuse to believe the parents were unaware, yo.
Right.
Do you think they were?
Is this allegations or is this like?
I read it and it was more the way this documentary or whatever, or this quick little expo on it. I saw it more as it's an allegation form right now. Yeah, but I think they're gonna pursue it. No. I think they're gonna like pursue it, but I'd want to catch up to the kids that graduated from there and went on to these universities. Were they prepared?
Probably not.
Probably not at all.
College prep. What's the name of the school? T.M. Landry College Prep.
T.M. Landry College Prep. Oh God!
Was there anything else that we're gonna converse about?
Nah, I think that's it for this week.
That was it? Nothing else new and exciting happened?
What about you? Anything happening in your?
Oh, what, my personal life?
Yeah, what's going on with your personal life?
Nothing. Same old shit.
Anything else happen in real life?
No. Nope. Nothing interesting over here. Just living life. Trying to avoid getting sick. That didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid is literally like he found an old grate in the corner in the gym.
What is going on, yo? What's going on at these schools, yo?
There was a grate underneath the bench in the gym, in the far corner. First of all, he kicks one shoe off. I can't get him to put the other shoe back on. Then he takes his foot and he's trying to pick. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, oh, that's a grape. I can tell because it was mushing a little bit. He's trying to pull it out with his foot. So I keep trying to like block him from it or whatever. And I guess when must have been like 2 seconds, I turned my back. Somehow he got it. Because then later on, somebody said, what's in his hand? I'm like, wait, somebody was like, is that a grape? I said, how'd you get that grape? Like, ew, yo.
How old is he?
Old enough.
Shut up.
He's like 10, 11. But I was like, no. So it's like with him, you gotta always be washing your hands. And I probably just slipped up and ate something and didn't wash my hands. Forgot. I don't know. I know. So.
Aww.
Like, what? How did you? They be finding the most like craziest things. Like, where did you see that? Ew, put it down. God.
How hard is it to teach those kids?
It's not hard. What's hard is that the rest of the school doesn't really have experience with the lower functioning kids. So it's like a lot of things that shouldn't be out or, you know, things that they will get into the other classes and other faculty and staff, and like they don't know. Like, you know, the kind of things they do because they're not around those kids a lot. So it's like, you know, leaving certain things out. Like somebody will leave out a coffee or leave out a hot chocolate just chilling. And I'm like, yo, that's going to get thrown. Or, you know, a kid might drink it if it's just in, like, say it's sat up there, you know, I don't know how long or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like you got to baby proof the area.
And there's only how many adults per classroom?
It depends on the classroom. Like our classroom, because our kids are more, they're like, I don't want to say more needy, but we had to have like one adult staff per kid in my room. But the other rooms, you might have like 7 kids and 3 staff. Depends.
How do you keep an eye on? I don't feel like that's
enough.
If
you're assigned to your kid, what do you mean? In the other rooms or my room?
In the other rooms.
Oh well,
the other rooms
all the kids aren't turned up. No, you per room usually have like 2 or 3 that are like, you gotta really pay attention. The other ones be kind of chilling. It's just that they just need like a smaller environment. They're not necessarily like lit or, you know, turned all the time. Well,
this is gonna be fun trying to find a place to stop this episode, huh?
And I was trying to think, is there anything else like interesting in the media that happened? But what?
I remember something.
What?
You heard of CRISPR, like what's it called? Genetically modified babies, like gene selected babies.
I mean, I guess, but what's that got to do with this week?
Well, this week there was a guy who, golly, I'm not prepared, so I don't want to misquote this. All right, so pretty much the scientist that had a hand in creating CRISPR type technology, I believe he's a Chinese scientist. He did a presentation in front of like, I don't know, the scientist board. I don't know. And pretty much revealing that he made 2 genetically modified kids. Now, if anybody was going to do this first, it's definitely China. China be doing a lot of shit. So. And it caused like an uproar in the science community because nobody had the sanctions and stuff to do that.
Yeah.
So after that presentation, he disappears.
Okay.
Nobody's seen him since. You think they took him out?
I mean, I guess. If he disappeared.
I don't know.
Abomination. He went rogue.
Nah, he's making something. They probably locked him up in the room to like
Or
create
that,
the next
yeah,
next human being. Humans 2.0.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah, I found that very interesting. What do you think about genetic babies?
I mean, I guess I think what everybody else thinks is fucking weird.
All right. To what extent, though? Like, say you can, meaning, it doesn't all have to be like superficial genetic stuff. It could be blocking out certain sicknesses or well, I can't even say it. Immunization, immune system deficiencies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, where do you draw the line?
I don't know. I guess I could understand with the sicknesses and stuff, but how much would that cost? Like,
I don't
would
know.
that even
That's
be
the big
available
fear.
to like?
Yeah, that's the big fear. The big fear is that, like, it's not going to be, whenever it drops, like say it is released to the public, there's going to be a handful of people that are going to be able to afford it. And then you got
that also requires so much testing.
Yeah. And the way I understand DNA to be, like, you can change, you isolate this one spot in the DNA that's responsible for intelligence or whatever. Let's say you want to make a super smart person. You can make a super smart, no, but hold on. You can make a super smart person, but you don't know what that's going to do, what the reaction to that's going to do. Is this person not going to have social skills? Is this person going to be, a shut-in? Is it going to be able to communicate? So, like, it's not as simple as just isolating certain traits. I mean, you can block, I think the more tangible stuff is blocking the sicknesses or the possibility that this person may be autistic. I think you might be able to isolate those type of genes, but as far as like personality and stuff like that, I don't think we understand DNA yet in order to do that stuff.
Even like with autism, though, that's so complex. You can't really isolate that.
Yet.
Autism, there's so many various levels of it. And, I mean, I don't know. Especially considering I work with special education. It's like, I don't really see it as, I don't know, like a hindrance.
You don't see it as something that needs to be fixed, is what you're saying?
Not necessarily. I mean, maybe in the more severe cases. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's kind of like, it's like, they don't even realize the fucked up world they live in. So it's kind of like, damn, are they kind of lucky, huh?
True.
But like some of my kids that can't speak, though, it's very frustrating for them to try to communicate and stuff like that. I saw something, I don't know if it was a meme or what it was, and they were just saying how, like, why isn't, like, sign language and nonverbal communication, like, taught in schools? Like, why isn't that just, like, a part of our society, But they're, like, even, like, say, if you work somewhere where it's loud, like, loud workplaces, just being able to communicate nonverbally would be helpful. Like, it doesn't only have to be for people that can't speak. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was like, yeah, I mean, just forget about a whole group of people. I
guess, I wonder what the statistics are of people that are non-communicative. That has to be so frustrating. I can't imagine. Mm-hmm. When you're working with those kids, like, and I don't want to use the wrong term, but would the only thing they're battling is being how do you say it? Is that the only thing that they're battling, or is it
like nonverbal?
Yeah, nonverbal. All right. So is nonverbal the only thing that they're battling as far as their like behavior or anything?
No, it depends. All the kids are different, Mm-hmm. But even still, like, people that are mute, they might not really have necessarily like a learning disability or anything like that.
Yeah,
they might
that's what I mean.
Yeah, so that's when, like, it's different. But my school specializes in learning disabilities and stuff like that. So all my kids, have something else going on with them along with not being able to speak. But a lot of them, they can speak. Some of them just have like speech delays or, other various things. A lot of the kids can talk. It's just very limited. So they also have their speech devices. But then there's like one of our kids, we haven't heard him say anything yet. But he can make noises, so we know, his vocals work, but this takes time with more intervention.
That's so interesting. It's like you can make noises, but like that's literally something in your brain that's not
just
letting you formulate.
Yeah, you just gotta learn how to form, the words. Or one boy, he'll sing all day, project his voice very nice. When he talks, he like kind of whispers. It's like, no, use the same voice.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You think how much do you think like a confidence issue with that is?
Yeah, I think just like the brain not, I'm sure it is something like with confidence, but also just it's like making that connection in the brain, like, oh, when I speak, I should also use this, like, use this voice. She was trying, the speech therapist was getting him to put his hands on his throat to feel the vibration when he would like sing or make a noise compared to when he would talk. It's not making your throat vibrate because it's like a whisper. So just more in time. He's only been at the school for like a year. So.
How do you think this has worked with your like patients? Like if y'all don't know Britt, like Britt is, would you classify yourself as impatient?
Never.
Under normal circumstances?
Yeah, I guess in general, yeah.
In general, how's that worked out? How is working at this specific spot like?
Well, when you're getting paid to be patient.
Oh yeah, that is a motivator.
Yeah, it's like you don't have
lights on at your house.
You don't have an option. That's why people will crack me up. If you at my job, they're like, "Oh my God, you have so much patience." And I'm like, "Well, I don't really have a choice. Like we have.
What, I'm just gonna lose it?
Yeah, I gotta
lose it and walk out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, if I'm not patient, then I'm not gonna have a job. So,
right.
Don't really have a choice.
What do you? But I mean, there's still things that like are tangible. You learn if you're doing something. You're practicing patience at all times, 40 hours out of the week, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then it's like you're dealing with a human life, that needs your help, essentially. You just got to keep that in mind.
Do you find your line of work rewarding?
I mean, yeah. Helping the kids, making their day easier. So they're already struggling with enough.
Yeah.
I mean, all the kids in my school, especially, they're all there because they all have something serious going on with them. So they can't really go to any other schools. So, yeah, it's like this is the end of the road for them.
So what goes on? Like, how long are they at your school for? Up until like what grade?
Oh, it depends.
Or is it broken into grades?
They have a high school. Like I told you, they're mainly based in Jersey. They have a high school, but some of the kids transition back to normal schools, and some don't. Depends on the parents, what the parents want to do. Or they might move and go to a different school. So everybody's different.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this wraps up today's episode. This little recap of this past week. I hope you guys enjoyed. We are working on a lot for the end of the year. You excited for it?
For what, the end of the year?
Yeah.
No.
We're like a year down. I'm talking as far as a podcast.
Oh, I thought you meant just in life. I'm like, yeah, no. Definitely excited about. When did we release the first one? Not a year.
April.
Yeah, we got some time. This ain't no year yet.
It's a year. Yeah, if you started in 2018, April. I don't care. We can release 2 weeks ago, man. We've been putting it in. All right, listen.
What?
If any business, right? Any business that you like or whatever, if you go and look back in time when they were created, it's going to give you a year. You're not going to be like, that year don't count.
It's in 8 months. That's what I'm saying. You said a year, and I'm like, we said April, then it's still 4 more months to go for we actually hit a real year. Sorry, Zay, the burst your bubble. Sorry. Like technicalities.
Little poopy pants Brittany over there.
I'm just saying.
Alright.
8 months.
I'm not buying that.
What do you mean you're not buying it? I'm looking at the facts. You over there spouting fake news.
Spouting fake news. It's not fake news.
Fake news. It's fake.
Alright, whatever.
Fake. 8 months. 8 months.
Anyway, like
8 months,
I was
not
saying,
a year. 8 months.
Like I was saying,
it's not a
see
year.
how Brittany she tries to take away from the accomplishments that we've been working on for so long.
I think we've done well in our 8 months. It's only been 8 months. It does feel like it's been longer than that. I will say that. I feel like it's been longer than the damn year.
Yeah, it's because it's been like a year.
It has not. Fuck.
You mad?
Yeah.
Why?
My voice just got louder. I am.
Yeah, it did. You need to be a little more sensitive, Britt.
What?
Because I'm triggered.
I don't care. Face the facts. It's 8 months.
Anyway, all right. See, we be bullshitting. Anyway, we're working on a lot for the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have an episode for the end of the year. We're gonna recap. We're gonna do a lot more details to come, and I think we're out.
Yeah.
We out.
Yeah.
All right, peace.